So recently I put this on Instagram. And if you just give me 1 minute, I'm going to explain exactly why I did that. And that is, YouTube has become a place where it has gotten so professional and everyone's so massively slick in their videos. You know, the incredible editing, the lighting, the super sharp videos, HD videos. And I started trying to get involved in that. And I realized that, look, that's not authentically me. When I mentor people, when I work with people, I do not speak in a scripted, super slick kind of way. I'm from the north of England. I swear, I think very quickly, I stumble over myself. And I thought, I want to offer something that's a little bit more authentic. Now, I'll still do some scripted videos, but I want to offer an authentic approach where every week I'm going to put a video out where a tattoo artist gets in touch, asks me a question, makes a comment, and I answer it and give out a little bit of information that I think is going to be of value. So if that sounds like it appeals to you, brilliant. Stick with me for the next 5 minutes. I'm going to show you something somebody sent to me and answer their question and hopefully give you a little bit of structure and a bit of an idea as to how their issue can be solved using a specific method or specific system. So here we go. Now, this is something that somebody sent to me recently. I've blocked the name out and stuff. I don't want to put people's names online, but this is what they sent. So they were talking specifically about emails because I regularly talk about tattoo artists using their client data list and emails to maximize the amount of money that they earn and the amount of bookings that they earn. And they basically said, email does not work. It's that simple. No matter how many I send out, I get nothing from it. And I want to address this really quickly, explain to artists why a good structure, a good quality fucking structure does work regularly. Now, it's not every time, but what it does, it increases the chances of you closing clients and bringing in more business through email. So the first things first, look, every single tattoo artist out there, 100% should have all of your clients' data. You're all getting people to sign consent forms every single time you do a tattoo. Now, whether they're paper or whether they're digital, you really need to get every piece of client data, every name, every email, every phone, everything, and put it onto a digital platform. Put it into Excel or put it onto a spreadsheet, whatever that is. You should have a digitized client data list. Now, I'll explain why. We spend so much time on social media, on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all that, creating bullshit content that we're basically showing people, here's a tattoo I did, and here's a video that I did, and I've spent 2 hours editing a fucking video, and it might not even get me a client. We put so much time and effort into these social media, but we put zero time and effort into our email list, our data list, our client list of people who've already been tattooed by us, people who already trust us, people who already trusted us enough to sit in a chair while we stab them a few 100,000 times with a fucking needle that will basically be on them for the rest of their lives. That's a massive amount of trust that these people have in us and in you. If you were trying to sell yourself and trying to bring in clients, what better client list could you possibly have than a bunch of people who already trusted you? Because strangers on Facebook and Instagram, there's a very low chance that you're going to book those people in. A very, very small percentage of those people would potentially trust you, live close enough to come and get tattooed by you. Everyone in your data list has already done that. So your data list is your gold mine, and you have to work that gold mine. Now, this artist said they've had no joy out of their emails. And what I say to people is the biggest names in the online space, names like Alex Hormozy, Russell Brunson, Daniel Priestley, Dan Martell, people who work with people online and show them how to build businesses online. These men are all worth hundreds of millions of dollars. They value email massively. When they put something out there and say, oh, we're going to give you this free content. If you click here, you get some free content from us. Every time you click, they ask for your name and your email because they understand how massively important this is. So when tattoo artists undervalue it and say emails aren't really worth it or they don't work an email list, it's incredible to me. The biggest names in the industry know how valuable an email is. So all the evidence you need is every single person out there who is worth an absolute fortune, who sells their goods online, is telling you they want your name and your email. So the value is obviously there. When people say there's no value in it or they don't work, it pisses me off. It makes me think, why would you think that when the wealthiest people in the online space think the opposite? Okay? So trust me, if those men who are worth hundreds of millions of quid are trying their best to get your email, you should be taking care of the people whose emails you have. Your client data list All of those emails and names and phone numbers you have are what we call warm clients. They are people who know you already. They're people who trust you. They're not what we call a cold client, a cold caller. So when people just ring you on your phone trying to sell you something, you don't know who they are, that's cold clients. You have warm clients who massively trust you. So you should take advantage of it. Now, we are willing to put so much time and effort into Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, but put no effort into emails. And it should be the other way around. Your email should be the thing where you put your best content, where you put your best work, where you sit and you think about what can I send to my client base that is really high value content that they will want to look at or read or watch if it's video, and will make them happy that I sent that to them. That's massively important. And when you send out an email, if you have 1,000 clients on your data list, every single one of those 1,000 clients will receive your email. And your job is to get as many people to open that email, click into it, and read it and view the content. They're the things that you need to get people to do, which is what I teach people. It's the method that I train people. There are specific ways to get people to open emails. I teach people in my academy the SCORES method. Now, I haven't got time to teach that today, but I can give you an example. When you send emails out to people, if you're trying to offer them value, think about what you watch when you go on Instagram. Think about what you watch when you go on Facebook. When I go on Facebook or Instagram, I will look at something called everyday value, things that are of everyday value to me. That's the E in the SCORES method. And everyday value is I grow vegetables in my garden and stuff. I'm a gardener. I really, really love doing that. So if I see somebody online who is showing me a brilliant method to grow carrots, that to me has everyday value. I can watch that, take it away, and start growing things in my garden and do it in a specific way that they taught me. There was a value to that improved my life. People who show you how to cook and bake, or cut this piece of wood and stick this piece of wood there, and this is how you lay flooring properly. All of this is everyday value to someone. So let's say I send out an email that is of everyday value to my client base. I'm going to be talking to them about, more than likely, tattoos, because that's what they would expect from me, but something that's of everyday value. So a lot of people use numbing cream. So I would say, if I sent an email out saying, this is the perfect way to apply numbing cream to make sure it works, if that's what the content of my email was going to be, I know that's of everyday value to a big chunk of my client base. Now, that's my content. How do I get people to open that? Now, I'm sending things out that this isn't a random post. This is something I've thought about and thought that's of value to my clients. But I still need them to receive my email and want to open it, because we all get so many emails now that you can get lost in a sea of it. So how do we do that? Well, I'm going to give you a couple of techniques. There are loads of techniques. The techniques that I tend to find work the best and work to a very good standard are, the first thing people will see is your headline. It'll appear in their inbox and it'll just have a headline, maybe a little subheader. So your headline has to be something that makes them want to open an email at the end of the day. If it's boring, they will not open it. If it gives them everything they need, they will not open it. So if your email says, the best way to open numbing cream, this is how you do it, they're not going to open it. The majority of them are going to go, well, I already know how to apply numbing cream. Yeah? If your headline is dull or gives them too much information, they go, well, I'm not bothered about that. It is something that is likely not to get opened. And your first job is to get that email opened. So your email, and this is why I tell a lot of people, must have a certain level of curiosity that makes them go, what does that mean? So what do we mean by curiosity? Well, we know what my content is going to be about numbing cream. My headline, off the top of my head, would be something like, numbing cream did what to my client? Something like that. Because that's going to make them go, what did numbing cream do to his client? That is a headline that is going to make people go, shit, okay, there's information there, but what's it done? We are naturally curious animals. We really are. Curiosity killed the cat isn't just aimed at cats. People are naturally curious. So curiosity headline that makes people go, right, okay, yeah, what is it? What is that? That's going to get you the biggest opens, in my opinion. There are other methods, but that's a really good one. Now, once they click into your email, that's job one. You've done that. The maximum amount of people do that. They will get a small description of what the content of the email is if they go further into it. And this is where we use something called an open loop strategy. And I'll explain what that is. They already have your headline. It's telling them numbing cream did something, but then what? Well, you're going to give them a little bit more information about what is in that email. But the information will be incomplete. It will give them the beginning part, but it will not give them the end. So you imagine a loop. If everyone has all of the information, you have everything. The loop is closed. If you leave out the end, you have an open loop where they get the beginning, maybe part of the middle, but they don't get the end. It creates what we call an open loop. So you would say, over the last few months, we've had clients who've came in, they've applied numbing cream to their tattoos, and the result has been something that we ourselves could not believe. Read now to find out what that result is. You're not giving them a result. You're just telling them this incredible thing's happened. It's been happening for months to multiple clients. Oh my God, what is that? And we, as curious creatures, will want to open that. Not everyone, but the majority of people, a bigger percentage of people will want to open it because the nosy bastards, that's what we are. We're all nosy. Look, we want to know what that is. What's going on? What's happened? Oh my God, something. Is it bad? Is it good? What is it? That will get you high opens on your emails. Once that person opens your email, you get to give them all of the incredible content. We use numbing creams on people. We've got amazing results. And this is how. This was the method we used that everyone had a very comfortable time with the maximum amount of numbing and sat comfortably through their tattoos. So you're giving them something of everyday value that says, this is the perfect way to apply numbing cream. Now, I know this works because I personally have done this. I've written blogs on it. It's gone incredibly well. But those stages done in that order using those methods are incredibly good ways to get people to interact with your content. Now, if you're sending people regular content that gives them high quality, it keeps you top of mind as a tattoo artist. So when you actually get to a point where you're saying, I'm going to tell people I have some appointments available, I'm going to ask for the business. When you send out an email that asks for their business, they're warmed up. They have you top of mind. They're getting great content from you. So they are more likely to book with you. You're the artist who they're hearing from regularly. You're the artist who's sending them stuff that's of good value to them. So you are the artist who they are most likely to say, yeah, okay, let's book in. I'm not saying this is 100% of the time, but what this is about, it's a numbers game. You are increasing the percentage chance of you closing clients. And the clients who I have worked with for the last 2.5 years now, when they use this method, among other ones, they are seeing very high percentages of people closing with them. So they're filling their diary from half a dozen emails that they use to nurture and warm their clients up. They are closing months worth, tens of thousands of pounds worth of appointments. But it's because they're not just sending random shit. They're not just sending the odd email every now and again, letting people know, oh, I've got some appointments, and expecting a close. They know that their email is there to offer your client value. It is there to warm your client up, to keep you top of mind, and to make them want to get tattooed by you again. It's a trust building measure. That's what we're using emails for. So the value in emails is 100% there. There are people who are worth hundreds of millions of dollars who are using emails to kill it every single year. And the tattoo artists who I have worked with over the last 2.5 years who employ this method, who use emails to the best of their ability, absolutely smash it every time. Now, really quickly, when we send out emails, I always tell people to use something called an avatar before they send an email. And an avatar is creating the perfect version of your ideal tattoo client. Now, we all tattoo a range of tattoo clients, but there is a specific type of client who we seem to tattoo more than other people. That's what I would call my avatar, my perfect client. So my avatar would be a guy called Jim who's in his mid-40s, who works on the rigs. He's away for 5 weeks at a time. He's home for 2. When he's home, he wants to cram a couple of tattoos in, but he wants them to be of very high quality. He's willing to pay because he's got plenty of money. He works on the rigs, but he expects a very high level of service. Jim's got a wife and kids, so he might have to get me to squeeze him in as and when he can. He's quite limited in his time frame, but the guy has money and he expects high quality, not just tattoo, but service. He's good crack, so he expects a little bit of crack when he comes into the shop. He doesn't expect a quiet environment. He wants a specific black and grey realism tattoo, probably a couple of cover-ups because he had some shit tattoos in the past. That is my perfect client. That's the person who, when I write emails to, I use a specific type of language, a specific type of voice, specific types of imagery to appeal to that client. I'm not going to talk about avatars today. What I'm going to say to you is, if you do not have a client avatar and you want to know how to actually get one, comment avatar, and I will send you the method over to create one in 2 minutes to give you your perfect avatar. So when you're putting out content, not just on email, on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever it is, you're putting out content that appeals to your avatar, which again will push the amount of sign-ups, the amount of appointments, the amount of bookings you get up by percentages. And every percentage you're pushing it up equals more money. So again, if you don't have an avatar, comment avatar below, and I will send you out the method to make sure that you get the perfect avatar to write your emails to. So this mindset that this person had, this artist who messaged me, it is a mindset that I see regularly. I do genuinely try and work with people regularly to get them out of that mindset. And everyone I work with who sends out incredible emails sees that email is massively important and can be worth literally 6 figures a year. If you work your email properly, you should be making thousands and thousands a month from your email every single year without fail. I appreciate you staying with me this long. I'm going to put out even more content where I answer people's questions like this. If you do have any questions for me, drop me a message on here or on Facebook or Instagram, and I will get back to you. I will try and make a video to answer everyone's questions. So yeah, that was authentically me. I genuinely hope that you enjoyed it. And yeah, thanks for sticking with me for this long. I teach this kind of stuff on my academy. I haven't talked about that yet, but I do have a free academy. I teach all of this kind of thing on there. The link's in the bio if you're interested in having a look at my free academy and listening to me chat shit like this. Yeah, I'll see you on the next one.